I have a topic we can talk about.
Yeah.
Mukbang.
I don't even know what that is.
So, I don't know. You had to see these videos on TikTok or like Instagram where it's just people who are like eating food and they just go on camera and they have like a bunch of food that no human should be able to eat by themselves. And they just sit there and they eat in front of a video camera and a microphone. And I know so many people who will sit there and watch. I used to work with a young lady who would send me these videos because she knew how much I hated them. Because you're just sitting there watching someone with the worst manners ever eat food. So it's just a lot of slurping and chewing. And I am that person that I can't stand hearing people eat,
That's fair.
which doesn't help because I have a toddler who can't chew with her mouth open. And it bothers me every time we eat dinner. But like the whole mukbang trend, like I'll be scrolling on my phone and then I'm gagging. Cause it's just like, I got snow legs. And I'm just like, why do you eat like this? Like, it is the worst thing ever.
That sounds horrifying.
And I can't do it.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, dude, you
I don't want to.
Fucking,
don't.
you were so
Don't
lucky.
send me any videos.
It is the worst thing.
This
And
is like
it started with that.
happening
What's
now?
that? What is it called? The ASMR stuff.
Oh,
it's like in that category,
can't
which
stand
also
that stuff.
I don't understand.
That makes my skin crawl.
Why do you want to hear me and watch me talk into a microphone?
Oh, the little
Like,
like
it's-
tapping with the
Like
nails and stuff.
I don't understand how this is like exciting or entertaining to people.
People say like they fall asleep to it though. They use like the AS. I mean, I don't know about the eating sounds.
If someone's just eating someone slurping soup,
Yeah,
and then there's like
so
this,
soothing.
the funny thing is there's like this one like food blogger person and she like always goes out to like eat food, but she doesn't eat it. It's like the weirdest thing. She'll put it like to her mouth and be like, oh, it's so good, and never take one bite of it.
Ooh.
And like so then people started trolling her online, but I rather watch her videos because she doesn't eat it than the mukbang videos where it's just like,
How much food are we talking?
ramen.
How much are they eating? Like
Dude,
a lot?
Like, imagine you're at a restaurant and it's a 4-top table, so 4 people can sit there, and the table's covered in food.
Oh,
and it's one person, and they're just eating, and it's just noise of them eating.
I'm so surprised I haven't seen this anymore.
I feel like I just need to force you to
Don't
watch
you
one.
do it.
Just
don't
for
you send me
any
anything.
force.
That sounds horrifying.
I don't know, but it literally drives me crazy every time I see one of those fucking. Like, I don't even watch it for as soon as I see food. I'm like, nope, next. It is the worst fucking thing. So if we when we get open, if anyone wants to do a mukbang video, please reach out to Matt.
No.
And Matt will be Matt will happily sit through that process with you because I can't do it.
No way.
I would be nauseous. I would try not to vomit. But yeah, it's just, and that's just what they do. They just be like 15 bowls of ramen. You're just shoving down ramen, slurping it, and all this other stuff. I don't know. I can't.
Thank you.
I can't do it. I can't.
Nope.
But you know what I can do?
What?
The Ravioli Theory Podcast.
Oh, here we go.
So welcome to the Mukbang Podcast. Just playing.
No, please, no. That is horrifyingly bad.
So first, I think I need to say this for both of us. It's exciting to be doing this again since it's been a short little absentee for the past. School started and we disappeared.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. A lot has happened in those couple of weeks.
Has been a lot. I know we did share a little snippet of it on our Instagram and Facebook page, but we got the lease signed.
Fantastic.
It brings us to the fact that we are actually recording in our very first restaurant that we are owners of. It's extremely exciting. It is exciting. There's a bunch of emotions. I'm excited. I'm humbled. I am scared. I am.
I'm anxious.
Anxious is another
I think
great word
anxious is
for it.
the best word to describe it for me. We're here, we're in the building finally, because I know we've been a little impatient with ourselves.
Definitely.
Just
Which
in the
hasn't
process,
stopped. We've been here for 2 weeks and we just talk about every day how we want to get started on things,
Yeah.
but we still wait on some things. So
Yeah, just starting to get our ducks in a row, which is, giving us a picture to what this place can be by the time we open, which is really exciting, and to kind of start to see the vision come together from everything we talked about. I mean, to think about where we were, in the middle of June, waiting to hear back about whatever the contest might be, to now being here later in the year, only a couple months later.
which, relatively speaking, is a short period of time
So
for a lot
short.
of people.
So short.
I guess when you're going through it, it doesn't feel like
No,
a
it
short
feels
period of time.
so long as hell. It's crazy. It's felt so much longer between the two things. But now we're finally here, and we can start to talk about the big strides we've made and where we go from here.
Well, I will say, a big part of what we said we wanted this podcast to be was transparency.
Yeah.
So, we had a long period in time where we couldn't get in the building. Then we got access to the building. Then we signed a lease and got more access to the building.
Yep.
And as we've said to you guys before, things change. You have a plan, which is, perfect example of the restaurant industry. You come into work and you have a plan, and 3 people don't show up, or you're missing
Plans
a
out the
food
window.
order, or you want to run a special and you're waiting for that one delivery that's not showing up when it's supposed to, or it's out of stock and they didn't tell you ahead of time, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And then you have to start pivoting and, figuring out other things. So we definitely had plans and, ideas and designs. And as we are in the space, we're realizing what is realistic and what isn't realistic. We're also figuring out what are some of our pain points and, things that we have to do that we were not fully geared, I would say, to contribute as much as we're going to have to contribute in certain areas.
Yeah,
as
that's
far
very
as
true.
financials and other things like that. So,
Yeah.
for full transparency, we've talked about this big piece of equipment that we have to put in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had a call today that solidified that this big piece of equipment had to be put in today.
Yes, we did.
So for everyone who's worked in the industry, this piece of equipment is going to be normal. But if you haven't worked in the industry, everyone has like a version of this in their home some way or
100%.
some might be smaller than others. There's some that you can buy that are commercial grade to put in your house as well. But we're talking about a hood system or a ventilation system.
Yeah.
Which does exactly what it sounds like. It ventilates the kitchen and takes whatever odors and smells and smoke and every other thing, and it pumps it outside of the kitchen so that way there's not a buildup of smoke or even heat in a small combined area.
And a big thing about it too is like also grease content and gas vapors for kitchens that use gas cooking equipment. That's part of just like the safety precautions, just that it's helping pull any excess gas vapors out of the air and pumping it, like to throw that out.
So we don't go boom.
Exactly. Yeah, for safety. These things also, require a return air system, so it's pumping air back in to the kitchen, so it can filter it and recycle it through. And then also something called an ancillary system, which is for fire suppression, for fire safety, that is required for most restaurants to have as well.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
My entire career as a line cook,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every line cook wants to see the Ansel system go off.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
You move past line cook when you get like a chef or you're a sous or an exec or a manager where you're like, the last thing I ever want to see is the Ansel or fire suppression, because Ansel is technically a brand of fire suppression.
Yeah.
But we always call them Ansel. It's
Ansel.
like Cambros. We call everything a Cambro. It's not a Cambro. We're going to call it if it's a plastic container with a lid and it has numbers on it, it's a Cambro.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, other companies sell these storage containers. But
yeah.
I remember always like just going, I kind of want to see it go off. I kind of want to see it go off. And then I seen a video of one and I was like, I don't want to see that go off. Especially because the amount of cleaning that is like associated when it goes off. It's like a fire extinguisher on 1,000.
Yeah, I've never had one go off in a kitchen. or
Oh,
any of
me
the
neither.
restaurants
I've
I've
just
been
seen
in.
a video of it.
Yeah, and I've never had to be part of that, but I've always heard that it's like a week minimum cleanup process because
Well, it's two-part too, because
yeah,
like you do part of it as the facility, but then you got to bring in a company
yeah,
to really clean everything
yeah,
and make sure everything's up to code, and you got to get re-inspected by fire and
yeah. It's a
health.
whole
It's a
process to get
process.
back open.
You're lucky if you open in a week,
Yeah.
realistically. So getting that process of getting a HUD system in here, we have started that process. It
Yep.
has been a tediously long process, just getting different quotes.
Yeah, I think it's just been a slow go of getting people in the building to get quotes.
Yeah. So we have gotten some,
We got 4 so far.
we have 4 quotes so far.
Yeah.
Some of them are a brand new home.
Yep.
Some of them are like a brand new car,
Yeah.
and there's some in between. We're looking to go more probably in one that's like in between. You never want to go with
Yeah.
the cheapest, you never want to go with the most expensive.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I don't want to buy a house
No.
for something that's 8 feet long.
No.
So because of that process, it definitely, we kind of had a mindset of we were just going to come in, do a couple of things and open.
Mhm.
And now it's like, okay, we have to do this, which now we're like, well, since we got to do all of this work, what else can we change in the space? And now we're looking at doing a little bit more in the back than we had already had planned.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it opens up our timeline a little bit because no hood system that needs put in. We're a lot faster and quicker to open.
Yeah.
So giving us that kind of expanded timeline, it gives us a little more time to look at things a little differently and change some things, especially about the kitchen.
Especially because we were looking at bare minimum, to bring in equipment and stuff. And now we're looking at maybe we got to do it. We might as well do it right.
Yeah, and having the hood, and it opens up a lot of or versatility for what we can do in the kitchen, which is also a little bit more exciting as well because it gives us a little more opportunity to expand on what we're planning in the menu. And
exactly
cool.
So that's been the main focus, I would say, probably for the 2 weeks.
Oh yeah,
but then we also
it's
have
a lot
like
of
other little, we've had people here, putting in dishwashers and all of that stuff. So getting ourselves situated for that.
Mm-hmm.
We had some friend of ours stop in today to kind of help us look over beer lines, which was cool.
Very cool.
Understanding that, once again, being 2 chefs,
mm-hmm.
We understand the basics of it,
but
understanding it to a point of a beer professional, not so much. But
definitely,
it's definitely a learning experience there for us, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's really also showed just like the community that we've built kind of through our careers and how many people have really shown up to help through the process, which is pretty cool. A lot of people just lending their expertise and their knowledge to help us get open,
which has been awesome.
Yeah. Oh, we can't say it enough. It's
to be able to pick up the phone and be like, hey, and it's like, you want to just come by? And we're like, absolutely, I appreciate that.
I know you throw a few messages back and forth. Eventually, they're just like, I'm just gonna come in and check it out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so that's definitely been helpful.
Yeah,
we have Wi-Fi. No more working off of our cell phones while we're in the building.
A huge win.
It's funny too because I can remember a small chunk of my life when Wi-Fi was not a thing yet. Internet was a thing, but Wi-Fi wasn't. It is crazy how dependent and how productive Wi-Fi can make your life. So, we have Wi-Fi. We have our phone lines are hooked up now. I'm not going to give out that number yet because I don't want any phone calls. The number one phone call will probably be like, oh, so when are you opening?
We'll be like, well,
here's when we're hoping, here's when we're guessing, and this is possibly when it's going to happen.
So, 2 different answers to that question.
But no, it was definitely, it's exciting just to have that little dot.
Yeah.
I would say we've had probably 2 weeks of small victories, like little things have gotten done.
A bunch of little victories, which
I think next week is pretty much probably going to be the busiest we're going to do because we said we're probably going to start the reno process in the front of the house.
Yeah.
So, getting paints and furniture done and aesthetical
deep cleans and organization. It'll be a lot of fun.
And that's another thing where we had a plan. Yeah. We came in here and we're like, well, what do we change this to that and this and to that? So I think when people walk in here for the first time, it is going to be a surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to say a lot of bold decisions. I wouldn't say we're not changing the way the building is designed.
No,
We're not moving. There's a beautiful bar here. We're not cutting it in half or moving
no.
it or turning it or anything like that. I've always said the space itself has been beautiful. We're
Yeah, structurally, it's exactly where we want it to be.
just turning it into our own,
Yeah, change the aesthetics a little bit,
make the
and
building feel like the Ravioli.
exactly. That's always been the goal.
And that might be an ever changing thing. I think
Oh, for sure.
every day we're learning a little bit more of what the Ravioli theory looks like.
Yeah, especially in this space, right?
Yeah.
'Cause we had an idea going into it. Now we've really morphed it to fit this space the way it needs to for it to be successful and for it to look aesthetically pleasing and to feel like the Ravioli Theory that we want it to be.
Yep.
I think it's going to get there relatively quickly once some paint gets on the walls and a few things are moved around, some colors are
I think a
changed.
little paint will go a long way
Oh yeah,
of just changing
it's
the
going to be a
space.
lot of fun.
And the reason I say that is like, if you come here now, it looks like we're doing art projects because there's paint swatches and colors everywhere. But just the little spots of where we put some paint to figure out what colors will work, you could see the vision and
Yeah.
the little change, and it's like, oh, that's gonna look fucking cool when it's done.
Oh yeah, just even like the little sections we've already painted.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. Which is crazy because I hate to paint. My mom was like, "Hey, I want to paint my house." I'm like, "Can we hire someone?" But I'm actually like really excited to just get my hands dirty and make it our own,
Yeah,
and
sure.
to have this be our starting, the beginning of our story as owners. Not at the beginning of our story as friends. That's what got us here.
Yeah.
But to be owners, to walk this path, as my girlfriend says, or as I tell your girlfriend,
Mm.
we're married now. So, uh, this is that newlywed stage, but this is us moving into our first home together.
Exactly. It
And
does feel a lot like that.
it 100%. From signing the paperwork to get us in here,
Yeah.
to figuring out what furniture and color and
It really isn't too dissimilar from
no,
from
I
newlyweds.
honestly, I
It's a
feel like
beautiful
I
thing.
put more effort into this place than when it comes to decor than I have the place I actually live. So
Honestly, yeah, I moved into the apartment I'm in now in like what, May, and I just hung up the first thing like yesterday, and it was finally to get my guitar out of the closet because I have like a little wall mount that hangs it, and I've been in there for months now, and I was like, I'm gonna put my guitar on the
I'm gonna make
wall.
it look like I live here a little bit.
We've been in here. I'm like, oh, we got so many design things we can do. We've been talking about it for weeks. And finally, I was like, man, I should probably hang something up in the apartment that I actually live in.
So no, it's
Yeah.
just it's different feeling, but it's
Yeah.
exciting feeling.
Oh, so exciting.
And it's really nice to just be in the space.
Yeah.
I find myself like there's days where I have nothing on my calendar, but I'll still drive up here to
Yeah.
be in
Just
the
to be in
building
the
just to
space
get
and
stuff
feel it
done
and
that I could
get
easily do for
comfortable
my
with it.
house. But
Yeah.
it's like I want to be in the space. Like it's almost like it talks to me to get started.
Yeah.
And then also it's like being in here to actually have productive meetings. And
Yeah.
like today we sat down and we're talking about the spirits, the
Yeah.
liquor, and all of that stuff, and seeing the space as you're talking about it, and, being in the space as you're talking about, so then things start to make sense a little bit more
Yeah.
versus being away from it. So
I mean, even just talking about kind of like almost like a mock service, right? Where
yeah,
we talked about who's going to be in the building while we're doing it, how many employees are we going to have, how many servers we're going to have, and just talking about that makes it feel so much more real. And I think it, continues to push us towards the mindset of opening is coming soon,
yep.
which just makes everything feel more exciting.
And
Every
it's
step
also
we
like an
take.
excitement for the people in the area. It's like they
Yeah.
see the lights on, so now they're like stopping and looking.
Yeah, they
Like
see us kind of coming
close
in
the
and
curtains a
out.
little bit because we haven't
Yeah.
closed any of the
Peek.
windows yet. They're gonna tape up some paper and stuff as we do the windows, so it stays as a surprise. But
Yeah.
it's definitely been a lot of like, ooh, what's happening? Are they open? Are they not? When are you opening? So
Yeah.
we're definitely trying to get as much done to get a timeline. I would say probably by the next 2 weeks
We'll have a
to
much
have a
better idea.
finalized idea of when things are going to take place. And then we're definitely going to start pushing it advertising wise, social media.
Yeah.
We have a huge email list. A lot of people who, if you have signed up for the email list, we appreciate you. So we'll start sending out information out there. That's kind of like our VIP club.
Yeah.
You'll get information before anyone else
That'll be great.
because you have a direct line to you. So if you haven't signed up for that list, you can find it www the Ravioli Theory NE.com. As soon as you go to the website, it pops up right there and it will show you like write your name, your email, and your phone number, and you're added to our mailing list. So you'll be the first to know as things happen. We're going to use that as a platform for newsletters just as we're doing stuff here. So you might get little sneak peeks and little previews even before we open. And then, as we plan our grand opening, friends and family and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, get the doors open, which realistically, just from the stories you've told me, your family could probably fill us up.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
Matt's family's going to keep us in business.
At least for the first couple of weeks. Yeah. I got to reach back out to some of those guys. I keep telling people I'm terrible right now at texting.
Yeah, which is weird because you've always been easy.
I'm very good, right?
And now it's like at the point where I just go, I'll text Matt. He'll answer at some point.
Yeah, it's been really bad because obviously we're in the process of opening this and I'm still kind of finishing up at my current job. And, I'm really trying to finish strong there and set those guys up to be in a really good spot. So between being here and being there, mostly 6 to 7 days a week, my brain is just turned off text messages. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, I'm just going to be a person who calls people now because I'm reading text messages, replying in my head, and then just never sending them the text message. So, yeah, I've been really bad at it. So, to anyone that's actually listening and I haven't responded, I will eventually get to you. I'm so sorry.
Matt still loves you.
I still love everybody. I was talking to somebody about this the other day where we have this focus and we have this drive to get this restaurant open, and it's become like a singular focus. So that when I'm not actively working the job I currently have, I'm just thinking about this place. Even if I'm not actively working towards it, my brain's just constantly being like, all right, what's something else we can do for the Ravioli Theory? What are the things that should be on my mind as we start to open? So it's hard to find that downtime.
All I have to say to that is welcome to my brain.
I know, you don't sleep. You just
prime example of me walking in at you.
You're like, hear me out.
Listen to all of
I
these
gotta show
things.
you this. And I was like, have you been using AI again?
Changed color schemes overnight because it just popped in my head.
You're like, you don't have to agree with me.
I'm like,
but just hear me out about this.
List of like product to bring in here. I'm still like slightly thinking of menu stuff while I'm going to sleep. It's just the brain doesn't turn. It's kind of funny too because Jessica, who you'll all learn about and meet at some point, Jessica's my child. It's a very weird situation. Jess is my child who is older than me. But she is someone that I worked with who has become family in more ways than one. And we talk almost every day. And she was texting me about we were talking about something. And then she was like, yeah, because you never take a break. Oh, she was laughing at our podcast.
Yeah.
So the last episode, we were talking about how you got sick and don't take time off.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't feel like you should be the one talking about this. And I'm like,
I know, I should have brought it up.
And I was like, it's not my fault. I have a weird brain that never turns off.
Never.
Which it's weird too, because like if there is something that need to be done, my brain won't stop thinking about it until it's complete. Like I've been like that as a kid though. Like it's not like it's something new or it's like I take some like pill that magically make my brain work. Like it's just how I've always been, and I can't stop thinking about something until it's finished.
Yeah.
So,
trust me, I know
what that means for us is because the plan is to grow and spread and do. Ravioli Theory will never stop being in my brain, and any other thing we do in between now and the point of retirement. Well, even then, we retire, and I say passion for right now because she's passion. My daughter, who is 100% into cooking right now. If passion took over, I would still be using my brain to be like, you need to do this at the restaurant.
Passion's going to block you by then. It's not going to be able to reach her.
Because you wasn't here when we first brought them, because you came in that day.
Yeah.
So we picked up the girls from school. Was it last Friday or Friday before?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was last Friday. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Picked the girls up from
One
school. And then Bina goes, do you want to go home? Because typically Fridays in our family is pizza movie night.
Heck yeah.
Which means I've seen every movie on Disney Plus.
Oh, I doubt
multiple times.
I doubt it.
There's
so many movies on Disney Plus.
Every kid.
Oh, there's so many kid movies on the Disney Plus.
Trust me.
No
we
way.
had to build another account just to keep track of all. There's movies that we started watching, the old movies that I was like, I don't even remember the scene in this movie.
They have changed some of those.
Oh yeah, I know. like Lilo and
The
Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch one's the big one that people talk about. They're like, it's not a dryer anymore because they don't
Yeah.
want the kids to be in the dryers.
But so was like, yeah, I want to go home, or do you want to go see Daddy's new restaurant?
Mhm.
So of course they were like, we want to see because they haven't been here.
Yeah.
And for you, those of you who don't know my kids, I have two very energetic toddlers. One is her energy is my spirit animal. If I could have the amount of energy Winter wakes up with, I would be fine for us. If I could sell it as an energy drink, we would be making.
If you had that energy, we'd have 5 ravioli theories back.
Facts. And then Passion, who is like, she is my prodigy. She is 2 years old, has probably been in the kitchen more than most adults my age. And that girl she has her own knife set. She chops, she
Children
cooks.
safe.
She will now use kitchen terminology. Like she's like doing something. She'd be like, Daddy, hot. She'll be like, she is the chef in the house. I am the sous chef. She tells me what to do.
There you go.
I always laugh because it's like, it's semi like, it's almost condescending sometimes when I'm cooking because then she'll look at me and go, good job, Daddy. And I'm like, oh, thank you. But she is like the person that I could see if I retired and we had like a bunch of locations, she would be the one to take over for me.
Oh, yeah.
Because she just is already in that mindset.
Yeah.
They have like a fake career day coming up.
Yeah.
Like they dress as what she wants and she wants to go to school as a chef.
Amazing.
So she is
She's
set
got a
at 2 years
chef
old.
coat.
She knows what she's going to do.
Little hat.
So we walk into the back.
Yeah.
She come into the back way. So we're coming into like the actual bar location and we open the door and the 2-year-old walks in and looks around and goes, is this the dining room? And I went, you've been in the industry too long. You gotta go somewhere. Like, what child walks into a restaurant and goes, is this the dining room?
Already.
Like, okay, we're going to get you away from here because you're a little scary.
It's too soon. We can't do this to you this
And then the seriousness left both of them, and then they just started running around the rest of the time, as you noticed, as soon as you walked in.
Oh, as soon as I walked in, they're sprinting.
They were also hyped on pizza and ice cream at the point. So
that's true. You guys went there before.
We had pizza before we got here, and then we came in and went across the street from a place.
Where'd you guys get the pizza?
What is it? Cottage?
Oh, across the street in the cottage? Nice. How was it? Good stuff?
Oh, we didn't get a pizza from there. We just
got the ice cream?
We went to Frank Pepe's before we got here.
Oh, nice.
So,
heck yeah.
Napoleon style pizzas.
Oh, yeah.
Brick ovens.
Oh, yeah. That's good
that
stuff.
oven. The ovens are huge, by the way. Like, it's so good. There's one right by their house in not their house, wow. Their daycare in Watertown.
Oh, really? Shoot. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's in Watertown, that new area.
I was just associated with like Connecticut.
So that's the original one.
Yeah, exactly.
But they've been expanding like crazy.
There's one
in Burlington too. There's one in Burlington Mall. There's one in Watertown. They have one in it's either Foxwoods or Mohegan. Like one of the.
It's Mohegan. There's one in Mohegan
one of the
because I've seen the one in Mohegan.
But yeah,
that's funny.
I think it's his grandkids.
Expanding.
They're expanding it. So.
Sweet.
It actually works out because we always end up buying 2 pizzas anyway because I can't eat cheese pizza and that's all
plain day one. Yeah. You just need some more.
So they have like it's like $30 where you can do a sampler and it's like 3 pies for $30 and they're supposed to be personal. They're not. They're big pies.
What are they, like 16 inches or like?
They're a little smaller than 16 because they're not round. It's weird. They're like ovalish.
Oh, all right. Interesting.
But
it's been a while since I've been out for a big.
They fit on half sheet pans.
All right.
They bring the pizzas over in sheet pans.
That's awesome.
It's a half sheet. So we end up with 3 half sheet pans. So pretty much the kids have their cheese, and then me and Dina try 2 different random pizzas. So cool. It works. We went there. That was our second time going there. And the kids love it because they get to add because they have like everything on the table. So it's like, I want garlic, I want cheese, I want green stuff. Oregano is not a word they like to say.
It's a tough word.
Listen.
I do want to double back because we were talking about the town a little bit and how people have started looking at the windows, and we've had a couple people poke their heads in and knock on the door, which is awesome. And I had the chance to talk to some of the town managers and the different town hall employees, which has been awesome. Which is, finally got a chance to really connect with them and just see where we're at because we want to make sure we're doing everything right with the town, get everything set up on that end. So they have been extremely helpful in that process as well. I spoke to the building commissioner this morning, who literally gave me all the information I could ask for, and then was like, if you guys have any other problems or need anything else, just give me a call back. We're down to help you with anything you need. And he kind of just laid out the map for us too, the road map to
which is
getting
awesome. There's a lot of towns that do that.
No, it was great. He
Like,
was so
figure it out.
helpful. Like we had those things on the list, but they were definitely out of order. So
100%.
that was super, super helpful. of
Which I
him.
feel like that was partially because we got like incorrect information. So it
Yeah,
definitely
right. So we
clarified
just
a
had
lot
like
for
we
us.
had a different idea of what the process was, but he really laid it out kind of super easy for us. So I think that process is going to smooth out a little bit more, because it definitely felt like, I don't know if you felt like this, it was a little bit of an unknown in
100%.
how we were going to get those timeline wise. Because it was like, all right, if we finish the hood, are we going to be able to get these certifications now, or can we start them before the hood's in? So stuff like that really smoothed out as well, which is great. So I can't say enough about how good the town's been, talking to the town clerk's office and all the information they gave us. So they've been so helpful, and I just want to make sure that we can talk about that as well.
No, definitely.
The town, I think, has shown a lot of interest too. Like we talked about it before, with the bank we went with, and how
Main Street
excited they
Bank.
were to have us come in or have you come in, because I haven't been over there yet. So that's been a really cool process. Part of the process too is meeting the community as we go along, and hopefully it's something we can continue to.
You think
be
of it
part
this way. I think it's a word that's used in business a lot, but in this situation, it's true. Like,
Yeah.
the town, in a way, becomes our partner.
Yeah.
If we're successful, it's great for them, and vice versa.
Yes.
If they put more into the town, it's great for us.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take partnership there.
For sure.
So I'm pretty sure having businesses and owners and operators come in and be successful is what they want. No, I don't know any town that's looking for people to come in and fail. So it's a partnership in a way. And the same thing, like, as we look at vendors, like we met with US Foods, and that was the whole part of the conversation was, they want to be a great partner for us because we're talking about growth and expansion. And, this is our first stepping stone, but we're hoping that this leads to other things. So, we want to have someone in our corner that's going to potentially grow with us, that once we go from 1 to 2, we're not like, okay, well, now we got to look for another person to work with. We want someone that's going to have our best interests in mind as much as their own. But when you're rooting for us, that makes things, it's like me and you. We're never going to be successful if, like, you're working hard and I'm sitting in the back going, I hope he fucking falls on his face. Like, we got to be on the same, we have to have that same goal, like, aligned. And I feel like everyone we've talked to, whether it be Main Street Bank, US Foods, you talking to the city, is everyone's kind of been in that positive, like, whatever we can do, let us know.
Yeah.
If we can do more, let us know.
And just the energy that comes from it too. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it makes you want to be here, and it makes you want to be successful, not just for yourself, but for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we've talked about it too, like not really knowing air that well. I mean, obviously,
I never heard of it until.
Yeah, and I had been here. Like, I grew up playing soccer against like the Air Shirley teams and stuff like that. But I mean, you don't think about that when you're growing up playing soccer. You're here to play the game. You're not really thinking about the town as a whole, right?
Not to cut you off, but
go for it.
I drove around here the other day because I went to go get the sample paint cans, and I was over there, and like the color was looking. I was like, I want to see what the other color. So I just went. And there was an Ace like further in town.
Yeah.
This place is a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It was like,
there's a lot more going on.
Like, I'm still driving, and then I passed the high school, and I was like, what the hell? I don't come from a big town, but I come from a decently, that high school would eat my high school. I was like, this is not just a small little town.
Yeah.
Like, this place is huge. So.
Yeah, they got a lot going on, which is cool. I think, air's going to be a good home for us.
I 100% believe.
Yeah. I think, just being right on the main street too is awesome. I got other restaurants that are surrounding us, but kind of fill other, niche or other interests for people. So hopefully we'll be able to bring something else to the table that if you're not feeling the classic Italian that may be on here, or maybe the Japanese cuisine, that you can kind of find something else here. So I think it's just like a good mix of restaurants. Seems like a good downtown, a good crew. We're excited to meet some people. I think we got to go around and eventually introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Some of the other local businesses, which we just haven't gotten around to yet. But
we're just getting our toes wet.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole foot's not in the water.
We're not quite all the way.
The toes tapping a little bit.
But as we get a little more settled, I think we'll be excited to meet some of the other business owners.
Definitely, especially because like a big part of what we're trying to do is stay as local as possible.
Yeah.
A lot of things. So we have, picking a banking partner that's right in town, that's small and not like a huge corporation, but they're about the small community. That's their whole thing, having those small little interactions with, the local guy means a lot, especially as a starting business.
Yeah.
So you want people, your neighbor, in a sense, to, you want that neighborly relationship. Like, I don't want you to be mad because I put a fence up. Let's talk about the fence first. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's just having those conversations and meeting people. And, you know, I think it's going to be a day where we just take a day and just walk around,
Yeah.
introduce.
We
Like
knock on some
we
doors.
walked around, but we didn't do anything. We were just seeing what was here. But I think going around and just introducing ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to have to find the right time.
Yeah.
Figure out what places are open around us. But, just having those relationships for sure. And those folks, this isn't unique to us. It's a
This is
very hospitality thing to do. The amount of times that I've had people that I've never worked with, but I can call on because they worked at a restaurant down the street.
yeah.
Their towel delivery didn't fucking show up. I was like, hey, we're going to borrow a couple bundles of towels.
Yeah.
Stumble, swap them back, stuff like that. So
Yeah, I've like something I've seen a lot of too is like if your neighbors use the same vendors, for instance, right? When you're ordering from these places, sometimes there's a minimum, sometimes you can't meet it. You can be like, hey, I know that this guy over at this restaurant, he said I can drop it off with him. I know he's got an order. Can you just throw this item on my account? But he'll drop it off there, and I'll just walk over and grab it to him. Stuff like that is like just such like the little things that everybody does for each other. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to do that. Yeah. We just haven't worked with them.
yeah,
Yeah. But just like little interactions like that, like on that level, where it's just, the camaraderie of being like, yeah, man, of course. Like I'm not gonna we're a community here. We're not gonna be like, no, you can't drop off one case of stuff because the order didn't work out, right? So a lot of that is just building the
but also
camaraderie.
too, like I've worked at the top of U.S. foods.
Yeah.
Like teach them for what I think they are. But
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And
That's what it feels like.
I used to be able to call them production, like, hey, I'm really the rap and show up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sometimes just showing up in their car with a case of whatever you're missing,
Going your way, and it's not your delivery day, but it'll be 2 towns over. I'll meet the truck.
Yeah.
This and bring it to you. So, having the right partners, especially when you first start, it's key.
Yeah.
It will make our lives either like hell or easy peasy.
Yeah.
Moving forward. So
Yeah, choosing the right people, the right team,
100
the right partnerships. That's what it's all about.
But this episode's a little weird because we're just telling you about all the stuff that's going on. We've been gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We definitely missed you guys, and we're trying to figure out how to get back, in the stream of reporting again.
Yeah.
It's just been so many moving parts. We've kind of had to figure out our lives
kind of around everything, right?
First time it's going to happen, and once again, it's just part of what we do because the last 2 weeks we got the keys.
Mm-hmm.
We spent Tuesday pretty much was the day we were here, which was like almost a day experience.
Yeah.
So we had no time to do recording.
Yeah.
So then we were like, we're going to record on Wednesday. My it's the crappiest. So we tried to record for 2 places.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we'll try again, and try to get a few days later.
Still wouldn't work.
And same thing ended up happening the following week. We were in the building.
We had meetings all day.
Going on, so it was like no downtime. And it's like, when are we going to get this done? We got to get this done.
Yeah.
And it's just like nothing was working. As Matt told you guys, he's still working full time. So there's a very small opportunity to get this done. And we want to keep doing it because we enjoy it.
Oh, yeah. It's a fun part of the process.
Great feedback from people, but I think just for us, we're just talking about things, but it is very therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
Just be able to express how we're feeling about things.
And, you need to think about it, even if no one's listening, it's been a great way for us to kind of document the process, and we'll be able to go back and think about it. And, if 3 years from now, or we're at a place where this has been, even more successful than we could have ever thought it could be. And then we can go back and listen to those first couple podcast episodes that are just probably sounding even more rough in hindsight 3 years down the road. But
I will say the numbers have been released. Yeah.
This is true.
Still daily,
which is pretty impressive. So we got
finding us. Or you really enjoy our voices. I'm okay with people.
I mean, I'm just gonna. I was talking to my brother the other day, and he was like, "I just like listening because it's kind of just like tapping into a phone call between you and Terrell. Like you guys are just chatting, and I'm just like a fly on the wall, just listening in."
We
should have Nate on the podcast.
So a partner.
Oh, he is.
Different ways for us.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be doing some stuff for us, heater stuff. And the funny thing is, Nate at
At the event, yeah.
the event.
At the contest. I just assume you've been around, all right?
So it was the first time, and it was funny because the whole time he's like talking about how he wants to be in the kitchen with us and all this. I'm like, no, you don't.
You don't want to be in the kitchen.
We're like, right before we signed our lease, you sent me this picture of like a cutting board.
Yeah, it was one of the cover boards. He was like, yeah, I just made this yesterday.
Oh, dude, like Nate was like, if you wanted these, and I was like, why the fuck does he want? Look, this is way cool.
This is what
we do.
It's so funny.
It's like that, looking. The grass is kind of greener kind of situation.
Yeah, where he's like, I want to contribute and I want to be in the kitchen. It's like, dude, you can contribute way more with these beautiful woodworking pieces that you've sent us. Yeah, this is exactly what we would want you to do.
Art is art, but like, it comes in so many different ways.
Oh yeah, I could not make that.
The type of piece. I had to make, like, let's be honest. The cutting board is a rectangle. I guarantee you, my cutting board would not be anything like the cutting board that you showed me if I had it. So this is my own to Nate. He has a way cooler job because I can fucking do it.
I appreciate it.
I'll feed him any day, but he is the way cooler. Stay the fuck out the kitchen. You do the cool shit.
Yeah. I mean, come in and hang, but don't feel like you got to work.
Yeah.
You're already doing the cool stuff.
He's like, oh, wash dishes. Don't wash fucking dishes. Do you see your hands? We're going to insure those fucking fucking art being made right there.
Can't be washing dishes with those hands. We need you to make all this beautiful stuff for us.
He's gonna have stuff. He's gonna have.
I feel like
we need to put like his name and thank you makes for us.
Oh, 100%. I have a couple of bookshelves that he has his name on it, but I want him to because I think he definitely just signed those, but I want him to like etch his name in or something, or like, yeah, or like he like burn it. You can like burn it. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I also feel like Nate doesn't understand what he's gotten himself into a little bit, because now we're just gonna be thinking of shit, or be like, Nate, can you make this?
You were just a brother. Now you're part.
I texted him a picture the other day. No context. I didn't even send a text. I just sent him the picture, and it was something made of wood. I won't say what, but it was something made of wood. And he didn't respond. And then I called him, and we were talking about it. And he was like, "Yeah, you just sent me this picture. Do you want me to make that, or like, is that inspiration?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "You didn't say anything with it." I was like, "I know, but I just sent it because I was like, I'm gonna forget if I don't send it right now." So I feel like I'm just gonna keep sending him pictures of random stuff with no context, and he's just gonna be like, does he want me to make this? Like, is this now on my list? I'll give you his number so you can send a bunch of stuff too.
Where we can like open a place
Mm-hmm.
that would. So there's a place in Maine that's like, I don't remember the fucking name of it, but it's in Maine, and it's like a fine dining restaurant, and they have like a blowing glass door or something in the restaurant.
I'm gonna find this
because they started off as like glass makers, and then they wanted to open a restaurant.
Is it Simon Pierce?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
So
I've never been. I actually haven't heard of it.
I can 100% see us doing something like that with Nate, with like his wood furniture and like plates and shit like that. Like,
yeah, we like the wood block, like serving trays and stuff like that. Like
utilizing them, like
cheese boards, charcuterie boards, stuff like that.
Steakhouse or something.
I told him he's gonna have to start doing like bowls. He's gonna have to learn how to churn bowls on something. He's gonna have a lot to do with it.
But I could definitely that would be a cool fucking.
Oh, it'd be such a cool concept.
And then you actually, because like if you go into Silent Pier, like they're in there doing stuff with the glass.
Yeah,
you could do like some.
That's so cool.
Stuff. It'd be definitely.
Are they making it on site?
I don't know if everything is,
but they're definitely doing some of it. That's so cool. And it's more like just like a retail store setup, or is it mostly like a workshop?
It's mostly a retail store.
Oh, cool. That would be so cool.
Yep. And then
he can crush that.
I said they use the glasses and all that stuff.
If he's listening right now, he's getting nervous because he's like, I got so much to do.
We'll give you some time. We'll give you some time.
He's got some time. I feel like that'd be such like, this is dreaming big, and I know you're usually big picture guy. I'm details.
It makes me excited when you start saying. I know, right? I get really excited.
You get really excited, but I feel like, and this is just me. I feel like this is the perfect thing that we could put like in Vermont somewhere, because it feels very Vermont. To like,
this is really big picture. You're moving away.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, that'd be so fun.
No, but definitely, I can see that.
I would also say it'd be really hard to get Nate out of Vermont to do it, so we'd probably have to meet him somewhere in the middle.
That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, Vermont's cool.
It's all right.
I'm a big supporter of Vermont.
I'm not staying, but I'll be there to
just
start
come
things,
visit. All right. You don't have to
I'll
stay.
get us started and
Yeah.
I'll hang out. I'll give my 2 cents.
And then you're like, guys, it's really effing cold up here. I'm leaving. All right.
Cold and wildlife, 2 things
Cold,
I'm not
wildlife,
fun.
ski resorts.
Can we
A
talk?
third
Okay,
thing
let's.
that you
I knew it was
don't
going to
wanna-
come up. So Matt likes to. What do you snowboard, right?
Oh no, I ski.
Oh, you
Nate's,
ski,
Nate's
okay.
the snowboarder. Nate's
Whatever.
the
I don't. It's on snow and it requires you being on a stick.
Yeah.
Um, but so Matt used to always be like, "Oh, I'm going to a ski resort. You should come." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, not my thing. I know what Terrell does. That's not something Terrell does." And Matt
feel like one day
is
I'm gonna
like,
get you
"Nope,
there."
I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get you there."
See?
And then I want to say, like, a week later, I'm scrolling through Insta and I find what? But it's people snowboarding, getting chased by a bear. And I went, absolutely not. There's 2 things I hate is cold and wildlife.
Listen, all right. The bear thing, that doesn't happen that often. You got to go to like the big
That
resorts for the
often
bear.
is more of a chance than I need. Okay.
Mostly it's moose.
If it's
all right?
one,
It's not
first of
typically
all,
bears.
I've seen those. Don't want no part of that shit. And you're angry for no reason. Who you got to be mad about? You're a dinosaur of deer.
Okay, you're getting. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of people that disagree with that statement.
What?
Dinosaur of deer?
They're fucking huge.
Yeah. But
I've seen like the videos of shit's like towering over cars.
They're so tall.
There's
It's
no
the
parts of
legs,
that.
man.
And they can swim like boat speed.
All right,
That's not okay.
We're getting way off topic, but this is a cool thing. This is a cool thing. All right. Did you know? Because I'm diverging off far. I'm a big fan of whales, right? I love whales. Love whale watching, all that stuff.
You've never said that to me.
Really? Have we never talked about this? I'm a
we
big fan
talk
of
about
whales.
my love of whale sharks all the time. And you've
I know. I
never
really should have
in
brought
my
it up. I
life-
should have brought it up. I'm a big fan of whales. I go on whale watches at least once a year, if not twice. I go almost every year.
Never
it's
knew
fantastic. I love whales. When I was out in Seattle, we went and did a whale watch and we saw orcas, which was
that's
fucking cool as shit. Especially because it was a really small boat and the orcas were like the same size, which is terrifying because they
Yeah,
can
but
literally.
they're cool with people
They're
as
so
long as you're
cool.
not in SeaWorld.
As long as you're not in SeaWorld, they're cool with people.
with you.
But if you go on and you look at orcas and you look at what like their prey is, moose are on the list because they're in like salt water, and if they're in like deep enough waters, the orcas will come up and eat the moose because orcas do whatever the fuck they want because they're the top of the food chain everywhere.
Your name is Killer Whale.
I know that's it's got negative connotations. Or
Oh, I'm here for the name. I fuck with that name all day long. Orca, I don't give a shit about. Killer Whale,
yeah,
that's a badass name.
is
First
the
of all,
name.
let's just talk. Like I love documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
And like especially like wildlife stuff.
Mm.
I'll get into like.
See, but you're over here saying you hate being in wildlife.
I don't want to be there. I will watch it on my television.
You say you have a great respect for it. And you think you're really interested, but you just don't want to be in
I
it.
love horror movies. Don't want to die.
All right,
It's just,
okay.
it's the same thing for me.
that cleared it up for me. I'm good.
But like, killer whales are such badasses that they prey on other like predatory animals
Mhm.
just for shits and giggles.
Oh yeah, it's outrageous.
Like, you know how much you have of a
They're-
badass you have to be. Think of it from a human standpoint. How much of a badass you would have to be to bully the bully just for the sake of.
You're like, I'm
wanna
just gonna
laugh.
go find the biggest guy in the room and
Like,
I'm gonna.
I have no like. I don't want to like fight you, but I'm just gonna prove I could.
Oh yeah. And have you seen like the hunting videos of them? Like when they hunt,
Oh yeah.
it's crazy because they like create the waves and like knock
'cause they're
seals off.
so
They're
fucking
so
smart.
smart.
And then we thought we
Crazy.
could put them in fish tanks.
Oh, we're so dumb and we're just cruel. It's
That's
just
crazy.
mean. It's insane.
I never go to SeaWorld. After that movie Blackfish.
Oh
I'll
my
never go to
god,
SeaWorld. You,
I can't even think
you know
about
what's a
Blackfish. It's
crazier
so
movie?
sad.
Have you ever seen Dolphin Cove?
I don't think so.
All right. So disclaimer, because we don't own the rights to any of this shit. But Dolphin Cove came out around the same time as
Okay.
Was it Blackfish?
Blackfish, yeah, it was
Yeah.
Blackfish. The documentary on him,
Didn't get as much
like media attention.
media attention, but it is a documentary that follows the guy who was the trainer on Flipper, like the
Oh yeah,
dolphin
yeah.
show.
I
And
vaguely remember that.
He pretty much does like a documentary about how, like Blackfish talks about how fucked up it is about catching orcas.
Yeah,
His is all about the dolphins and how they get dolphins. And it's somewhere in Asia.
Mhm.
There's a cove that's called Dolphin Cove. It
Mhm.
goes in like it's like a little like legit cove.
yeah.
And what they would do is it's where the dolphin would tend to go to spawn,
Mhm.
like to have their babies.
Yeah.
So what they would do is the country, which is not allowed to, because it's in the whaling laws, they're not
Yeah.
allowed to, it's so much security around it. Like when they landed in the country that they were in to do it, they got stopped by the cops. It was like, what are you doing here? Why are there cameras? Like they were, so he hired free divers who like can free dive without to go and bury cameras in the darkness of night to show what's happening in the water. And what happens is once a year, the dolphins come in to have their babies and stuff. They would raise these nets to block the cove off, split the parents, and they would take all the babies.
That's crazy.
So they're taking the babies to sell to SeaWorld and all of these other places.
Yeah.
And then they would kill the adults. So the whole cove would be red.
Oh my God.
Then to find out the meat, like the dolphin meat, they were selling to the population without telling them. And dolphin meat's not safe because of the mercury levels.
Okay.
So they're like, oh, there's no problem, blah, 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 blah. They started testing kids' hair because they were selling in the school systems. And the kids had so much mercury in their like bloodstream.
Oh my God.
Like, that movie, between that and like Blackfish, I was like, fuck SeaWorld.
That's brutal,
like,
man.
They have the thing in SeaWorld, it's something Cove, which is like you can swim with dolphins. I wouldn't give SeaWorld $1.
Oh God, no. That's horrifying.
We took the girls to see Sesame Place a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I found out it was owned by the same people who own SeaWorld. I didn't want to be there no more.
Oh,
like that's
God.
how
horrifying.
Got Elmo out here dealing with this bullshit.
Try to cover it all up using Elmo. Come on.
But yeah,
that's brutal.
I will if you're into documentaries and you're into like learning stuff, it's a really if you like
hard
Blackfish,
to watch,
it's hard to watch, but you learn a lot of how fucked like it makes Blackfish seem like a PBS special.
Oh God, and Blackfish was so horrifying.
That's my point.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's way off topic.
Circling back, I'm gonna get you on the ski mountain one day.
That's not happening.
It's gonna. Even
the only way it would happen. This is the only way it would happen.
I think I was just with this.
We would have to either be owning something in or around it.
Yep.
And I would have to have access to nothing but indoors.
Or if it was like a company retreat, to like one of the resorts, like you don't actually have to ski, but
long as I get to stay inside. The moment I have to go outside.
What if it was like outdoors, but there's like fires and it was all like real cozy?
No,
or if there was like hot tubs or something. Like,
why is the hot tub outside?
Dude, that's what you do. You go skiing, all right? And then at some of these condos, they have outdoor hot tubs. So
that sounds horrible.
It's so cool.
You want to know why it's horrible to me? Because I have to get out the fucking hot tub and be in the cold.
No, but that's fun because then you're in the hot tub and
I don't like getting out of my hot shower and going to my room with AC.
No, hear me out.
Ask me about it. I will get out of my hot shower, get fully dressed in the bathroom, and then go into the room.
No, you get out of the hot tub, you jump in the snow in just your shorts.
The fuck I would.
And then you get back.
I would.
Then you get back in the hot tub.
Absolutely not.
That's what you do.
You're not gonna blanch and shock me. That's not what we're doing.
That's actually exactly what it is. It's a very similar process.
I hate it when we had to take ice baths after sport practices. I would do anything in my power to not sit my body in that ice cold water. I don't want to play these games. It could be great for me. It could be the miracle cure I'm looking for out of everything. And I'd be like, I don't know.
All right, I'm going to drop it for now. I'll drop it for now.
Or ever.
No, just for now. I'll bring it back up. Next podcast episode, it's back up. I think Vermont is the perfect spot for lots of them. It's like how the glass blowing's in Maine, the woodworking's in Vermont. I don't know if I feel like Maine's a big glass blowing or glass make. I don't know what they're doing. I'm assuming it's glass blowing.
You know the bad part.
I don't know enough about it. What?
Tomorrow when I have a business class.
Oh yeah,
that's the worst part.
Don't do that.
That's the worst part about this
There's
conversation.
so many other things you could be doing. You're just like, so hear me out. I found your brother's email and I sent it to him. He hasn't responded. Can you tell him to look at it? Because I spent a lot of time on this.
Does your brother have a website?
It's not.
You don't want me to find it. I'm just saying.
He does. And I can send it to you. It's the Shed Business's website because that's what like the main company is. All this little stuff is just like his side stuff that he's been working on, which has been awesome. Yeah, he's been crushing sheds all summer, which is pretty cool. So if you ever need a shed, you make it happen. Buy a house, you need a nice shed.
A big part of our concept in the Ravioli Theory is culture.
Yeah.
Don't think sheds are part of the Black culture.
Okay,
I don't know anybody with a shed.
No?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
I don't think Black folks have them.
I
think once
I don't know.
I'm not gonna say it. I started to say no. Not gonna get it canceled. Started to say some shit. I'm smart enough not to do it. I have a cousin who's a comedian. When we have him on the podcast, I'll let him.
Yeah, let him go
because he could get canceled. I'm not going to get canceled over that joke. I'm proud of myself for censoring myself just now because normally that would just come out.
All right, we did put explicit on the episode.
Oh yeah, but this would have been
this would have been too far. Too far.
Let's put it this way. You remember the Black History Month specials?
Yep.
Yeah, it's wrong. That conversation. It's where that was going.
Anyway, so yeah, Nate's gonna be. We're talking a lot about Nate on this episode. This is great. This is the intro to Nate, and he's not even on the podcast. Exactly. He doesn't get an opinion. This is the best part. Right? We get to say whatever we want, and it's just true.
But I don't know. I just think what he does is cool. And
it's so cool.
I want to share. He is my brother from another I met through another brother.
It's true.
But I want to share his talent with the world.
Like we talked about, this is a marriage, so he is a brother-in-law.
It's amazing, especially because once again, it's that grass is like green on the other side because I look at it like you do this amazing stuff.
Yeah.
What I do is nothing.
Don't sell yourself short.
It's not selling myself short. It's just one of those things where like things are easy to you. It doesn't seem like it's like this huge deal.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
So like when we're constantly cooking around
like
line,
I've just always been like cooking has always been a part of me. Yeah, it's always what I've done. And like me, I just think of stuff. So it's just not like I don't try to create. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure he might feel the same way about what he does. But from the outside looking in, I'm like, that's fucking cool, dude. I wish I could do because once again, I could try. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be right.
Well, I suppose we'll have to get some insight about how he feels about it.
It's like painting
when we get him on an episode.
There's an artist there that's teaching you how to paint. Your paint's not gonna come out the way their painting is because I went to one of those. And, yep, mine didn't look like theirs.
It was like the wine paint night type thing.
Yeah. Bina did it one year for her birthday.
Oh, that's awesome. That was fun.
The painting's in the house, and it was like dolphins and shit. They don't look like dolphins. Like race sausages with fins.
Listen, that's because it's everyone's interpretation. You're coming from the restaurant industry. You're a chef. They're sausages. Right?
It just did not look
it's
good.
Food.
So.
It's fine.
But I do a different type of art.
Yeah.
I was never the arts and craft. It was not.
I can't draw. All right, like I can't paint.
The fact that I used to do cakes, I don't know how.
Oh, I'm terrible at cakes.
You told me to draw some shit. You want me to make a rose out of flowers? Out of frosting, I got you.
Yeah, you can do that.
But that, so I'm in awe of what you do, Nate. If you're listening, we're going to have you on a podcast at some point. I know, because we gave you like half an episode.
Exactly.
If you're not listening,
this is a partial intro to the Nate Lucas episode.
Or, as my mom would say, because I gave you those bottles at the event. My mom thinks all you do now is drink sangria. Put the sangria down and listen to the podcast.
There we go.
Well, I think we have bored you enough.
Yeah. And, once again, we continue our streak of doing pretty good for about the first 20 minutes and then talking about whatever we want, which is exactly what we're trying to do here.
For full transparency, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room.
It's the elephant in the room.
There was a point where my mic died in the middle of this podcast.
So if the sound's a little off,
it's going to be a moment where you were like, "What's happening to the volume?" You were listening to Terrell talk to Matt's microphone.
Yeah, we're working on it. Listen, we're new to the podcast thing. We're getting it done, but we're making it happen, and that's going to be fun.
But this is another example of the restaurant business. Things will happen unexpectedly, and it's about how you finish. And we have a live mic, and it's hot right now, and it's working, and
we did it. We got to it. We got through it.
We got through the podcast. So we owed you and. We owe you some episodes, and we'll get to those. But you got a little bit of taste of the chaos of our world right now.
I can't.
Which is nothing but great things to come. So more chaotic, better things will get. So sure. With that, I say adieu. I never really understood that, why people do that in things. I do like what
people mean.
I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like it's just better if we just ramble on until it just randomly cuts off at some point.
Or we just say, hit the music.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Ravioli Theory, the podcast. We hope you enjoyed hearing about our exciting news, signing the lease for our new space. If you liked what you heard today, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. Your support and feedback are invaluable and help us bring you along on this exciting journey. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Ravioli Theory for the latest updates and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you next time on The Ravioli Theory, the podcast.